Yo, yo, yo. What's going on, guys? It is your boy Brandon from Audio Addiction. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for chilling. If you're new here, thanks for vibing. I'm going to fix the focus on my camera because it's a little off. But hope y'all are doing well. Tonight was a little bit of a last minute game day decision choice. Um, I wanted to do some albums tonight. And I know the two most requested ones that I've seen so far have been the Woods album and obviously the newest BTS album. So we're going to check out both tonight. If we have time to do like a smaller EP, let me know. We could squeeze that in. I think if I've got my run times correct, um, I should have enough time to maybe do one more. So if you've got an EP or something small, then we can definitely squeeze that in. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But that's the vibe. So that's the plan. Hope all of you had a great weekend. And if you've been catching up on Patreon, everything should be up to date on Patreon for the most part. I think there's maybe a few. I think there's like one or two that I have not done yet, but they are uploaded. I just have to make a thumbnail for them. So should be good. Other than that, should be about it, I believe. So thanks for hanging out. Also, I'm going to preface this in big screen. I I was in New York City on Saturday, and literally every K-pop store we went to was playing Swim. I kind of listened to a majority of it on not even realizing it. So if I am familiar with it, then that unintentionally listened to it, which was great. So I thought that was hilarious. Um, but it is what it is. I feel like every city across the across the globe was probably celebrating this album, so I'm not really surprised. But Sarah, hello. Gunky, hello. Good choices. Okay, cool. Kala, hello. Ding, hello. Unhi, hello. Sally, hello. Kaylee, hello. No Santa, hello. Dang says I should really be asleep, but you know what? I've had four. Oh God. Sarah says, "Damn, Brandon, I heard 1/14 of the songs of the album is." Hey, listen. I wanted to preface that just in case. Listen, I know Army be watching this shit, so I want to be transparent. So, very cool. All right. I think we'll get into it now. I don't know if whether y'all. I have the MV pulled up for Swim, so I'm assuming we'll probably watch that when I switch over, or we can watch Swim first and then go through the actual album, whatever you guys prefer. Excuse me, I can't even speak tonight. So let me know. But Gagi says, I'm sure you'll love the BTS album. I listened to half the album and determined it wasn't for me. Hey, listen, I was gonna say that's respect. Dang says it's my favorite BTS album of all time. Wow, okay. It's like they went to their dark and wild times, but more grown up. Fair. Um, Jazz, hello. Thanks for hanging. Cal says, I liked a good amount of the songs, but the title track and some of the B-sides didn't hit for me. Hey, fair. All right. Cool. Well, I think we'll just start. I like listening to him from front to back. So we're just gonna do it and Swim. I'll watch the MV for when we get to track 7. So, very cool. This is Arirang. Hopefully I've butchered it so badly. But this is it. This is a moment I think y'all have been waiting for most part. So, this is Body to Body. I'm excited. Let's check this out. I'm curious.
I need. What you need, Twan? I need. What you need? I need the whole steady in the trunk. Put your phone down, let's get over front. I got my eyes on the row in the front. The vibe is high, feet big blunt. The vibe is high, let the builder. Big clear from everywhere to Korea. 총칼키고 딱좀 hero. 흰색은 짧은 중간은 people. It's big in real life. 맞추면 따져 내려놔야 임마. I've been 좀더 가까이 와서 game is king. I need somebody. Sunrise, but we don't go home. Somebody like you.
Okay.
Somebody like you. Oh, somebody like somebody like you. Somebody like everybody like you.
This drumming pattern is interesting.
It's so tight.
Okay.
I mean, no one side. I mean, 우리만의 그 style. I mean, we living the life. 두 눈을 감지 않은 내 밤. 솟구치는 결의 맘. Be a body, be a body, be a body. You could see a body, or you read about it. I need somebody to body. All of your body beside me. Somebody like you. Somebody like you. Oh, somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like everybody like you. Somebody like you. Oh, somebody like you. Somebody like you. Somebody like everybody like you.
I like the Korean folk influence. That's cool. The homage. That's awesome.
I need the whole city in the drum. Put your phone down, let's get all the fun. You at the side of the beginning first.
Okay. All right. Very nice. This was Body to Body off the BTS album. Very nice. Dang says context. Arirang is one of the oldest folk songs. It was recorded in the late 1800s. 7 Korean men went to Washington, D.C. to record it at the time due to the technologies being available there. And then BTS went to LA last summer to record this. The folk song Arirang is the sample in Body to Body. Ooh, very cool. I did not know that. Historical background will be relevant when watching the Swim MV. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I did do a little. I'll say a very minuscule amount of research on this. But I did see a bunch of stuff talking about Arirang is a Korean folk song. So I do like that. I do like that. That was. I like that they. I like that they show homage to, obviously something critical to the culture. I feel like that's really cool. And obviously, I'm sure there's other artists that have sampled Arirang, I'm sure at some point, I'd imagine. But I think it's really cool. And I think that's kind of one of the more interesting factors when I listen to a lot of K-pop music is just the way that they are able to interweave that into their music. I think the sample choice was very cool, and I think the way that they used it was also very interesting. From not only I think the drum patterns, but then towards the end of the song, you get like a little bit of that vocal section, which was cool. I think they chopped it up in a really cool way that I think again pays that homage to old, while also being bringing the relevancy to 2026, which is great. I liked a lot of the dynamics of the song. I felt like with this one, first and foremost, I thought this one seemed to me to be like one of those songs that I would need to see live. Like it just has that sort of like larger than life energy to it. I imagine this song. I don't know what songs they plan on performing, if they did perform this one or not. But I felt like this one to me felt very like if I was to ever see BTS live, I feel like this would be one that I feel like would do really well in that performance. I think overall the vocals are really cool. I've listened to all of all of them in their solo endeavors. So I think, to me, I'm curious how they're going to be able to meld those worlds of, again, going through the military service and then coming out of it, and each one of them individually release their own solo albums too as well. So I think it's cool to see them. I don't know, it's just cool to see the growth. Like I said, spending time with them over the 1 month that we covered them here on the show. I think, to me, it's cool to see how much I don't know, how much time and how much vocals that they've kind of amassed over that time period, and obviously how they've evolved their voices over that time too is really cool to see. And I felt like this was the first one where I was like, holy shit, like, first of all, they're all back together, certainly, but I thought it was very interesting. Like I said, the instrumentation was something that stuck out to me immediately, and I think it was kind of the grounding force of the song. So I really do appreciate that. And yeah, overall, great start. I would say I definitely enjoyed this one. I would imagine this one will grow on me more over time. Not that I think it's a bad song by any means, but I definitely feel like, it's like literally first listen. So I think a lot of the times, like, I really have to percolate with some of these songs a little bit more, but I felt like this was good first listen. And I enjoyed it. So great stuff. Sarah says, if I had a nickel for every time one of my old sampled Arirang in one of their songs the last 2 years, I'd have to. Damn, you're winning. You should have put that on your lottery card. Dang says, Diplo is all over this album's production. I did see that. I also saw that Ryan Tedder had done a lot of work with BTS for this album as well. So, going to be very interesting. Obviously, huge pop staples, so I'm not really surprised by that. Sarah says they did this live during the comeback show. It was awesome. Okay, so that confirms that this feels like more of a live performing song. Excuse me, I cannot even speak today. Uni says the vocal processing felt a bit off to me. Okay, let me see. Thought it would be fair. I'm not familiar with their usual sound. The instrumentation is really cool. Very nice. This album goes back to their origins. A lot of PTD Dynamite Butter fans dislike it, but I'm so happy. Hey, fair enough. I've heard, Sarah says, I've heard so much negativity about the songs and the album in general. It's like not my favorite, but I think anyone who says it's bad or poorly done is disingenuous. I feel that. We'll delve into it. I mean, obviously we're going through it, so I'm curious. As someone who, we just did Map of the Soul, which was great. I'm curious to see the evolution. So, all right, this next one is Hooligan. Hooligan. Excuse me. I can't even fucking read tonight. All right, let's rock. Let's get into it. Ooh. Like that choppy sample.
Watch this beat go, we hooligan. We pop out, we acting a fool again. Hooligan. Watch this beat go, we hooligan. Where this baseline slapping so rude.
Whoa. So crazy. Man, I'm about to fuse. 동제 볼록 머리 춤. 뛰어 미친 노인들. Me everywhere, earth somebody move. 다들 모여 하나 둘. I can never ever choose. Every one of you amuse. Crowd looking like a campus. Beat drop, bring dancing. Watch this beat go and hooligan. We pop out, we acting a fool again. This is thick.
Hooligan. Watch this beat go and hooligan. Run in space, I stop it so wrong. Trapping lower than chop the screw. Hooligan. Watch this beat go with hooligan. I go cool, crazy, don't go say me. Like it cool, 굳이 말 안 해도 알잖아. Hooligan like hooligan. 때려 부셔 like hooligan. 시간 됐으니 좀 비켜좀 멀컬리. 이상 mode. Take you out.
like the vocals match up with the stutters. Cool.
Watch this bit going hooligan. We pop out, reacting on hooligan. Hooligan. Watch this bit going hooligan. Yeah, we the mess, gonna get a bigger mop here. This a cake, gotta get a better pop here. You gon' hear this one playing round the clock, yeah. Round the clock, 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 clock.
Cool pitch vocals. Nice.
Hooligan, watch this bit going hooligan. Why this bass like it's so rude? Drop it low and then drop this cruise. Hooligan, watch this bit going hooligan.
Interesting. Okay, this was Hooligan from BTS. All right. This one was cooking. I like it. Let's see. Callus says the second half bangs, I'll admit. Ooh, okay. Andy, hello. Thanks for joining. Sarah says this is my favorite. Okay, let's rock. Dig says knives. Yeah, it's a knife. Okay, different group. Dang says I've waited since Cypher Part 2 for Suga to laugh in my face. Let's go. Salute. I thought this was great. This one's very interesting. It starts off very interesting, and I think it piqued my interest. The cutting of this song is very surgical. Not to use another knife reference, but I thought it was very interesting. Like, I think from a production standpoint, this one jogs my mind, and I like that. I really appreciated how they like not only cut the sample up, but I also feel like the way that they kind of made it feel like very, like, again, both of these songs, Body to Body and Hooligan, have like this sort of like bouncing movement to them that I thought was really cool. I also appreciate that they kept a lot of the waltzy aspects of like that string section. I thought that was really cool. And kind of that juxtaposition of like rapping and like singing, I thought was very good. I always felt like BTS has done that very well. And obviously the song is no exception, but I really liked the kind of counterbalance of that. I also liked that there was some bits of I liked it the way they synced up some of the like vocal parts with like the way that the beat comes in. So like obviously a lot of the melodies, like a lot of the big pops of those melodies land on like when that beat starts, which I thought was very cool. It seems very intentional. I'd imagine so. I can't say for sure, but I really do like, again, the kind of syncopation that they have going on with the vocals. I thought that was really interesting. I love the like I was like, it has to be Sugar like laughing. That was great. It kind of gave me a little bit of like a little bit of like the Gorillas when they hit us with that sort of shit and like Feel Good Inc. So I felt a little nostalgic for that. So I like that. I obviously don't know if that's the intention of the laughs, but that was what I got out of it. But yeah, I thought this one was very good. I could absolutely see why this is Sarah's favorite. I think it's very interesting, and I feel like they have a very, very interesting way of viewing things. So in a good way, obviously. But I felt like this was a very Sarah song. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. But overall, like this one, I think so far, Hooligan's my top one right now. I think that would be the one that I would absolutely go back and listen to because I'm just curious about the production of it, but really enjoyed it. So, Dang says the lyrics are really important for aliens. The song is about racism that they experience in the West. Oof, feel that. Gunky says, my not so hot take from what I've heard about this album. It's well produced, really well done. There's nothing I would consider genuinely bad. While I don't really like what I've heard, I can respect what they've done, and I can understand why others like it. We'll see how I feel about the second half if I enjoy it. So, oof. And Sarah just likes using knives. That's fair. Let's see. Sarah says Brandon knew I was gonna say something, so he had to add a caveat. That's true. That's true. I knew there was something that was gonna. Not that it's a bad thing. Hey, listen, everybody's got their personal preferences, but there's some songs in chat, like there's some people that I know in chat well enough to be like, I feel like this was the one that they would like, so I'm not really surprised, but it's a great choice, so good shit. Yeah, the Waffle House, oh my god. Oh, love it. Anyway, very cool. We're gonna move on to Aliens. I'm very excited about this one. And not in a, obviously as we're continuing on. So let's keep it rocking. Curious.
Mike Wilmer. 지금 하고 답은 해 모든 길 시간은 참 빨라 틱탁 스타일을 힙합 도대체 뭘 더 고민해 태생부터 다른 seven aliens 우리 부러워하는 저 civilians 굳이 설명하는 힙합 스타일을 힙합 도대체 뭘 더 고민해 Hello to your new honey 박수쳐 흔들어준 morning Oh my god do I look too funny 뭐 어쩔래 just move for me yeah move for me From the gutter to the hot, all the burger, baby, now, yeah, we aliens. If you wanna hit my house, you better miss a line, yeah, we aliens. Awesome, 그래, shameless. Yeah, it'll try to we aliens. And don't joke, it's a rising. Aliens, aliens.
I like that they distorted the voices. It's cool.
Let me honey talk about the business. Everybody know now where the cake is. 어디까지 가니 이런 제길 저주하니 아직 흉측대길 빠른 기구생님 tell me how you feel 영원 또 나밖에 못해 but that is how we kill 눈만 더 허벌하게 큰 너희가 말하길 Are they for real? For real? Hello to your new honey 박수쳐 흔들어준 morning Oh my god do I look too funny 뭐 어쩔래 just move for me yeah move for me From the gutter to the high 우리 보고 배운 날 yeah we aliens If you wanna hit my house you better 벗어나 yeah we aliens 어쩜 그래 shameless yeah 이를 찾아 we aliens 해는 동쪽에서 rising aliens Every minute every day 모두 everybody day 매일 밤 every day yeah we're living that aliens every night every day 모두 everybody day 시대가 이루어내 yeah we're living that aliens aliens yeah we 내 노래 and stand on it 지금 put that stand on it stand on it stand on it yeah we 내 노래 and stand on it 지금 put that stand on it stand on it stand on it
All right. Very cool. This is Aliens from Arirang from BTS's latest album. Very nice. Oh god, Sarah says me typing so you think my taste is bad when you then you going in a good way. I was like, he's not getting bullied today. Thanks. I've zero I'm gonna put like 6 days since I've been last bullied. I'll put a sign up. I'm kidding. Calla says, this is one of my favorites. Oh, very nice. Great choice. I thought this was very interesting. I like it. I think very similarly to Body, my first thought was like, this one sounds insane. But I also got to say, like, this one seems like it would pop live. Like I said, I don't know. They ran through I didn't watch the live of this, and I probably will later now, knowing if they did go through the entire album or not. But I felt like the way that they did this, I thought was very interesting. First and foremost, like I said, similarly to Body, I felt like this one felt like a very much of a live song. I'd say it's more specifically towards like the end of the song. It was it kind of felt like a little bit like militaristic in the sense of like or even like I guess even in the same way like those who have done like martial arts, right? Um it kind of gives that sort of like like there's a specific like type of movement and like the way that they kind of like do certain parts of like the salute or like different parts of like the movement of like the karate aspect of it. And I felt like I don't know if they were necessarily, and again I'll probably have to do my research on it, but like to me it felt like that type of thing where you have like a specific like militaristic feel to it, like the stomping, like the way that the song kind of feels, kind of felt like that to me. And I don't know if anybody else maybe experienced that as well, but I thought that was very interesting. I like that it kind of had that sort of again militaristic feel to it. I thought that was very interesting. Um, the again very similarly with like the rap sections, and then I think Jimin was mostly doing like a lot of those like high vocal sections, of course, um, which I thought was crazy. And the contrast of that I think is also very interesting. There's a lot of different like I've noticed about like now that we are 3 songs in, there's a lot of highs and lows between like um there's a lot of highs and lows between these songs, right? Like I think there's like in terms of like the production, right? Like you've got like the stomps, you've got like this low like you have this like big like 808 sort of feel to the track. Then at the at some parts you have like this like vocal like I guess it's like a vocal melody or something, right? Like, and it kind of like ping pongs back and forth in the song, and you can kind of hear it throughout in that you know, 2.5 minute playtime, and then as well as that, like then you're throwing on like rap sections or vocals or something like that, and I think that there's a lot of layers to it, and I think that that's probably what intrigues me the most about it is like really kind of trying to unpeel a lot of those layers of why they chose to do this or why they chose to do that in a particular part of the song. But I thought it was very very interesting on that aspect, which I think was really cool, and I think they've done a really great job. Again, I'll second what Gungi's opinion is about their production. Like I think their production has grown a ton, and I think obviously working with like some really important names in not only I think in K-pop but just in the industry as a whole, I think really kind of has the I feel like from my perspective is like not a full blown army obviously, but I think to me it's like I can respect that they want to do something productionally different than what you would expect maybe from the what you expect from the industry currently in K-pop, which I appreciate because it does feel very, I think it feels very different in that aspect. And I'll obviously come to my conclusion towards the end of this album, but I do feel like it kind of separates it in like a good way, I think. And I think they're carving their own way with this, so I thought that was interesting. Dang, looks like they copied a verse. It goes, I'm not gonna read all of it, but wow, okay. Um, that's crazy. That I mean, I just read it. Y'all can go back and chat, or you can pause it. But that was crazy. That is some really heavy lyricism. So I'm glad that they are talking about things that are important to them. So appreciate it. Sarah says they did this one live as well. Very nice. Let's see. Dang says Kim Gyu was an independence excuse me, I can't even read. Was a Korean independence activist who wanted Korea to be a cultural power rather than a military power. And then they're taking risks and they're paying off, and they're paying off. Very nice, very nice. Okay. I don't know what the Korean activist. I assume maybe it's in relation to the song, if I had to guess, but maybe that's again where they're pulling that kind of militaristic feel of the song potentially. So very interesting. This has been a very interesting experience for me so far. So I'm digging it. Mentioned it. Okay, it's mentioned in the verse above. Okay. I was trying to figure out, like, I was like, okay, I got to connect the dots a little bit. So, all right. Very nice. All right. We're keeping it moving. We're on track 4. This is FYA. So, let's keep it rocking. Okay.
Everything lit is fire. Everything big is fire. Everything lit is fire. Everything big is fire. She wanna dance on fire. Everything gas is fire. Oh, 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 I see what you're saying. Everything lit is fire. Everything big is fire. Everything lit
Big production. Holy shit.
Everything big is fire. She wanna dance on fire. Everything gas is fire. No one's getting too close, too close, too far. Give me that gasoline. Give me that make me feel. Give me that make me sweat.
This is a club banger for sure. Too close, too close, too far. Ooh. Interesting production choice. Okay. Wow. Texture.
Too close, too close, too far.
Ooh. Wow. Damn. All right, this was track 4, Fire. Very nice. Sarah says Fire. This one is sick. Very nice. We love it. First thoughts. I feel this is a song you can feel. That is crazy. I was like, I'm sure you probably can't see it. Well, I was getting like fucking goosebumps the entire time, especially like that. Like, I don't even know how to describe the sound, but it's very textured, and I think it's interesting. I'm normally so stoked about songs that have like texture, but like this was like so, like, it's so in your ear. Like, if I don't know, it just feels like something's crawling on you in a weird but good way. Like, I don't think that I can think of in more recent memory that that I think I've felt this way about a song. But this one, that I probably have the most opinions on. Um, I'm excited to hear the rest of it, of course, but I felt like this one was like, man, like you can feel this song. Like, they really wanted you to like feel this track, and I respect it. That's so cool. Like I said, production has been insane so far, but I felt like this one. Oh, I feel like this one kind of blows so far. It blows the rest of the tracks out of the water. Just because I think, like, if I'm thinking of like a song that's gonna be memorable to me, like this one is gonna be memorable because it is so like engrossing, right? It's so like in your face. It's so like it's it's such a weird but like beautiful song, and I love that. I hope people don't take that out of context, but I really love just like I said, I would go back and listen to this song again just because I am so curious on like again the productional aspects of the song, like why they chose to do certain things. Like anytime that I listen to an album, I feel like I try to nerd out about it as much as possible, but but yeah, it's just so interesting, and I think that like a first listen, I know I won't be able to say it all, and I probably won't, and I'll probably come back to this one again. I'll probably talk about it later on, but like it to me felt like it felt like an onslaught in like the coolest way possible. I don't like if I could turn back the clocks and re-listen to this song again, I would do it, just because I think it's such a like it's such an interesting experience. And I think if there was any song thus far that I feel like I would want people to listen to, not even just like BTS fans, I think it would be this one because it was just so interesting to me. I think like as a music nerd, this one just like strikes my fancy because I just thought it was interesting and so weird. And like I will say, listening to all of these songs and kind of again listening to them with headphones, I feel like I have much more of an appreciation for a lot of these songs. I don't know how well these do in the car or like with like earbuds or whatever, but like to me, I felt like this one was like the one where I was like, damn, I'm so glad I'm listening to these with like decent quality headphones, my preamp. Like I'm really listening to it in the best way I possibly can listen to it right now. I think the only thing I would have loved is like a subwoofer so I could like feel the vibrations of the song, but beyond that I thought it was very cool. This one's I think this one and Hooligans are my favorites so far. Fire I think is probably my number one so far, just because I was just shook. This one was wild, so very cool. Sarah says the sound, yes, so much of all of it. Sonja, thanks for making it. Yes, we are doing Arirang, and then we are following it up with Woods after, and then maybe something else small to close it out. So, Dang says, a song I have most opinions on is such a good way to describe it. Yeah, I feel like this one requires me to listen to it more than one time, and usually I feel like usually I come to a conclusion on it, but I feel like this one I was just like it was just so cool. I would love to experience it in that moment again. So. Sarah says, I know Jungkook is the main credit composer and lyricist for this one. Hey, go. Let's go. We love Jungkook. So, shouts. We love it. This one was wild, Jungkook, if you're watching. So, very cool. Very cool. All right, we're moving it on. We've got 2.0, I believe, is the next. So, check it out.
그래 방탄처럼 그게 말은 쉽지 우린 팀툴 누가 맨날 뛰어넘네 웃기기는 한데 사실 안 웃기지 10년은 말야 어린 반푼 not stop
Ooh.
pull up as your block we gon' knock yeah as your little fun fella pop yeah
Love the group vocals. That's cool.
Brand new, yeah we on that brand new. You know how we do. Ay. Gotta give them much brand new. Back got a stat, and a stat 2, 2.0 day down who. 여기저기 또 한 번은 내 10 out of 10, 이젠 버려 모습 파품. So go harder, ay yeah we get that shit go harder. Yeah. Pull up at your block, we gon' knock, yeah. At your little farm fella, pop, yeah. Came back for a smile, we don't stop. You know how I do. You know how I do. Put your brand new, yeah, he on that brand new. You know how we do. Pop. Baby getting pop. Hit him with the truth like rock. Time to pay you debt. Feel me not. Let it be, let it bleed. Hit a lick, and it's split. Stop.
Cool moment for space. I like that.
Yeah, pull up, we gon' knock, yeah, have your little fun, fella, pop, yeah, came back for what's mine, we gon' stop,
Cool harmony split too, nice.
you know how I do, put your brand new, yeah, we on that brand new, you know how we do. You know how I do. You know how I do. Buddy, put your brand new. Give me on that brand new. You know how we do.
Ooh, okay. Very nice. This was 2.0 from Arirang from BTS. Very nice. Dang says every song so far has been my favorite at some point. Over the past 3 days, 2.0 might be my current favorite. Hey, let's go. Pre-chorus kills me. Yeah. I assume this is a pre-chorus. Pull up on your block. We gonna knock. Had your little fun, fella. Pop. Okay, cool. Very nice. I love that. The lyricism has been very interesting so far. I will say the moments that I've been able to dissect a little bit have been very interesting. Sonja says the performance of the song live was fire. I'm more of a vocal girl myself, but this first half of the album gave me appreciation for the rap line. Hey, okay, I respect. I appreciate it. I also didn't know. I also didn't realize this, I guess, from the split of the album. Like, and chat can keep me honest on this. Is it typical for them to split? Like have like the top half of the album be rap or like vocal, or I know that they have had like when we checked out Map of the Soul, I know there's a few where like there was absolutely like distinguishable songs where one was rap line, one's vocal line, but I can't remember if they've actually like done like half the album's been rap line, the other half's done vocal or what have you. I was gonna say it didn't seem typical. Okay, so I was thinking tonight. Okay. It's usually not split so distinctly like this. I was gonna say I feel like they kind of interweave them a little bit more. So this is interesting. Okay. So that throws me off even more so, which is cool. I appreciate it, keeping me honest still. I thought this one was very interesting. If I like now knowing the context of like the top half being rap line, I still feel like Faya is still one of my top ones. I would put Hooligan as a second favorite. But I thought this one was very interesting. I love the group vocals in this section. I feel like that is such a cool thing. And then like I feel like the first instance you get it was really cool. I like the way that they stacked the vocals, but I loved that later on in that section they did like you can hear Jimin or Jin kind of hitting that higher top end echelon of their voices. I thought that was really cool. It almost hits like a 3-part harmony in a little weird way, but like I think they worked it out really cool. And I didn't hear it the second chorus, but the third chorus, like the final one that he did, I was like, oh, okay, I hear that. That's cool. I like that. I love the cadence. I feel like a lot of their songs, and now it makes sense that the rap line was like the first half of the album. It's very syncopated in the way that I feel like rap lines typically are, and I like that. I think there's something, I don't know, there's something magical about it. I think it just draws me in. I can't really explain it, but I do feel like there's something really cool about that, and I appreciate it. I also really liked I also love like again like different vocal effects that they were using. Like there is some like I don't know if it was like a little bit of auto tune, but like with like maybe a little bit of delay or reverb, but like they dialed that in and it sounded really cool and I liked it. I would say overall this probably just misses my favorites of the first half. Like I said, Faya and Hooligan I think were the ones that like first listen. I love these. These were my jam, but the other ones, like I said, I feel like maybe it might change my opinion if I watch the live. I probably will check it out now, but I thought to me so far, I've been like, oh shit, those were the ones that I was like, yeah, I feel like they're just gonna and then watching the live after this, I'm probably gonna be like, oh yeah, 100%. I'll probably like I'll double down. So very cool. Let's see. Okay, so Chad was answering me. Sandra says not typically. Dang says not really this distinctly. And Sarah also says not split so distinctly like this. And Dang said excellent picks. Thank you, Dang. Appreciate it. So very cool. We're gonna swap over. I'm gonna have to minimize my Spotify. And pull up my. I was not prepared for this. I should have done that before. We are checking out Swim. Oh wait, no, we have one more. Sorry, I'm an idiot. We are doing 29. I am having a moment here. All right, cool. I know this is like very interesting. From what I've seen, a lot of people, either got it or didn't get it. I don't know if that's true or not. I know some backstory behind it, so I feel like I'll be probably a little bit. Probably would if I didn't know the backstory. I think I would have been maybe a little bit more harsher on it, but now I know what it is. So, this is number 29. So let's check it out. Plus, I need a break to stop talking. So, collect my thoughts. Oh damn! I missed a good opportunity. I was gonna. I should have stole the line from. This was number 29 from BTS's Arirang. I should have stole a line from YouTube's great Good Mythical Morning. And this is this is John Stewart. It's your moment of Zen. That's what I should have used. Damn. Missed out. If you know, you know. Let's see. Sarah says, I mean, this one's concept to me is cool as a historian. Very nice. And they also said it's an important one. Dang says, following these 5 songs with this was a crazy choice. The fact that number 29 is charting is even crazier. And then Dang says, for anyone here who doesn't know, while the silence feels like a glitch, is actually an intentional homage to Korean heritage. Excuse me. The track features the resonant tolling of the divine bell, king of Songjok, an artifact cast in 771 AD and officially designated as South Korea's national treasure, number 29. Some people said it's a moment of silence for the king. Oof. Uni says, as you can hear, we can't. Oh god. Someone just says it's like a palate cleanser between the second half of the album. That's what I was thinking. I probably would have thought that as well. But I think it's cool. Like I said, I think that I won't bore you on talking about it for too long, but I feel like for me, I respect the fact that they wanted to include this on an album. I think as everybody was waiting patiently for an entire release from them. I think that there's probably some people that were upset that this song was on an album of 14 songs when there could have been another song that would have made the list. But I do feel like it's very intentional. And now knowing that the album is split between rap line and vocal line, I thought it was very cool. But I like that. I think that that's really important. Obviously, again, paying homage to their heritage and where they're from, I feel like is such a key component of what they've always done over the years. And I think that they continue to pay homage in that way. And so I really respect that. And then as well as that, like I agree. I think my girlfriend told me that RM said in an interview that it was like a moment of like zen or a moment of silence. So I definitely like that. But yeah, overall, I appreciate it for what it is. I think in terms of like albums, and I've listened to a ton of concept albums. I feel like this is such a cool, not only way to show homage, but there's a lot of deeper historical meaning, and hopefully people will go and do their homework or go do their research on it, because obviously there's some connection to it. They wouldn't have included it on the album if there wasn't some significance to it. So I respect it. Like I said, I feel like people write the song off for what it is, and that's fair. I respect that. That's an honest approach, but I think it was very cool, and a very strong artistic choice. So I appreciate that. So Kaylee says, I definitely thought I lost connection when that played the first time and then listened through the album because I thought it was it. That's true. That's fair. That's valid. I respect that. Ding says, I mean, all 7 of them are in the song. It's just not an actual rap or vocal line split, more like rap vocal focus split, but also interesting. There's no subunit or features, just 13 songs with all 7 of them and 1 bell. Yeah, that bell is the 8th. I was going to say that Sarah took the... Oh my God. That's so true. No, I think it's cool. Like I said, I don't think that I'm thinking about it in like a definitive way, but I do think like my thought process was like, wow, this is a lot more like the underlining tones of all those songs that we just listened to were all like, oh, this is definitely more rap focused, and that's great. But I didn't think that there was like, oh, I didn't hear like Jimin, or I didn't hear Jungkook, or I didn't hear V, or I didn't hear Jin. I did hear moments of them, but I feel like they're a little bit more sporadic, and obviously heard more of like J-Hope, Suga, and obviously RM. So it was cool to hear. It was cool to hear them kind of vary a little bit more from what I feel like I traditionally know them for. So very nice. All right. Well, we're going to check out Swim now, which I scared everybody by almost checking this out before 29. So we're going to watch the MV because I feel like that's only right. So let's keep it moving. I'm probably going to have to adjust the volume on this one. Yep. That big hit made me lose my hearing. Ding and sing.
Swim, swim, water falling off your skin. Swim, swim, I could spend a lifetime watching you.
I love Pirates of the Caribbean.
Swim, this is how it all begins. Swim, swim, I just wanna dive, Map world, gone away, I still wake up in this map world. Name a place that I can breathe on this map world. Looking like a goody in this bad world. Don't know how to act, girl. I'm in the deep, tell me where the hell you at, girl. Oh, you ain't even gotta love me back, girl. You know that I'm never holding back, girl. Yeah. So easy to make it so hard. Nights like these, I just wanna get lost. Right here with the moon and the stars. I ain't gotta think, but I think maybe I just swim, swim. Water falling off your skin. Swim, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you. Swim, swim. This is how it all begins. Swim, wanna die. Water so deep, water so deep. Take it off the ground, I ain't never getting cold feet. Yeah, you know me, yeah, you know me. Sitting on the shore, now I'm ready for the whole scene. I can feel the high waves coming. While you run away, you can run it. Salt on my tongue, she's stunning. You're the only place that I wanna be. Yeah, swim, swim. Water falling off your skin. Swim, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you swim, swim, swim. This is how it all begins. Swim, swim. I just wanna dive, I just wanna dive. Splash, splash, rip. Make waves with my two friends. Splash, rip. I just wanna take it across the line. I'm not here, it'll change the time. Baby, everything can be so sad. Turn my face from the west. I just wanna die, I just wanna die. Swim, swim. Water falling off your skin. Swim, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you swim, swim, swim. Let it all begin. Swim, swim. I just wanna dive, I just wanna dive.
Oh, nice. The boat's called Arirang. Very cool. Nice. Oh. She was imagining it. That's cool. Okay. I was trying to make sure there was no other secret things I needed. I skimming through it. I don't think there's anything at the end. So very nice. All right, this was BTS's Swim. Very nice, very nice. Let's see what we got here. A couple comments. Sarah says, Lily Reinhart is so beautiful. She was a great addition. Shout outs to her. She did great. Sonja says, or Dang says, I really loved the ending. I also agree. That was cool. Sonja says, those last lines sung by Tae and Jin are so good. I also agree. Shout outs. My loves. Dang says, she was imagining, but she's wet. So was she imagining it? Yes. I feel like it's little up to interpretation, right? Kaylee says, I gotta say, I still find an odd decision to make an English title track on an album very culturally strong and represented. Still great though. I see it. I see that. Very interesting. I do feel like it was probably, like I said, I think that they have. Try to use my words carefully here. I do feel like they have obviously very strong roots being from Korea, but I also feel like they also are a internationally known group. So I could see both sides where like I think for me as like viewing it from my lens and my way of living, like I think it's very interesting to see them kind of again go from that way of like obviously showing love to Korea, performing in Korea, doing their first, show essentially in Korea. I think that's incredible. And then obviously paying homage to a lot of the fans that are international, and by doing the song mostly, I think it was mostly English, if not entirely in English. So I thought that was very cool too. So I could see where it goes with that certainly, but yeah, I think this is very cool. I can see it. I can see it certainly. So, Dang says a lot of the lyrics in this album are about the criticism they receive both in the West and in Korea. They don't know about us, especially addresses this. Okay, very cool. Like I said, I'll preface this again because I said it before earlier in stream. I have technically listened to this song many times. I know the chorus way more than I probably should know the chorus now at this point. And like I said, before I even started streaming, I knew it. But I think it's very nice. I like it. I think the musical motif in the song is really beautiful. I do feel like now that I have listened to the chorus a bunch of times, I will say that this song has a very intentional and good hook to it. I think like there's something very memorable about it in the sense of like I think you're just gonna be singing along, like humming the melody, or like there's just some aspects of the song that I feel like is just in that way like ear candy, and I love that. And I think I would say a good majority of like K-pop does a really great job of having good hooks. I would also say the fact that again I mentioned it before previously in the stream here, you know, Ryan Tedder, who's of One Republic, they've worked with Diplo. This one is it looks like maybe Hitman Bang had done the work on this one potentially, production wise. But I think to me it was I think that they intentionally chose a lot of songs that I feel like have like strong hooks, and this is a cool one to kind of start off the back half with, certainly, just because I think it's got a good hook on it, certainly. And I don't know, I really appreciate it a lot. I think, like I said, memorable in that way. And so I definitely like it. I think it's probably one of those songs that's just gonna quietly play in the background of my mind every day now, and kind of has been. So which is great. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, I hate that. I think it, like I said, if it's good hook, it's a good hook. So, but yeah, I like this. MV was gorgeously shot. Like I said, I really enjoyed it a lot. I saw someone kind of, I guess not in the same way, but like kind of similarly. It reminds me a lot of With Youth from Twice. They also used a boat in their imagery and stuff, and I thought that was cool. So I definitely like that. But yeah, overall, enjoyed the song. I'm not gonna sit here and say it was a bad song by any stretch. So good one, good vibes. We love to see it. So very nice. I'm gonna swap back over to my Spotify here, and we'll migrate to the rest of the album. Let's see. Dang says also I see another white person on oh god. If I see another white person on TikTok complaining that this album is not Korean enough, I fear I'm going to get myself banned from the app. Oof. Someone just says I saw it as an album representing their identity, their music, so the English bits didn't strike me as odd. I see what you mean though. And Sarah says I'm saving my big thoughts for after the album. I am also saving I don't think I have big thoughts, but I am saving some thoughts probably for the end. So very cool, very cool. We're moving on. We're in the back half, which is crazy. This is Merry-Go-Round, so I'm excited. Let's check this one out.
I wish that I could tell you that it's over. I wish that I could walk away from pain. My life is like a broken roller coaster, but maybe I'm the only one to blame.
Ooh.
This merry-go-round, it spins me around. I do my best, but I can't slow down. This merry-go-round. I can't get off of this ride. I can't get off of this ride. This happens every time. 어른이 된 것 같은 기분이지만 고민은 뭐 여전하지. 매일 같은 일상 속 회전목 하나 쳇바퀴 남의 한 가지. 답이 없는 질문 미궁 속에서의 질주. 다들 괜찮은 척하며 웃고 있지 모두 다. I wish that I could tell you that it's over. I wish that I could walk away from pain. My life is like a broken roller
cool vocal layering in that section. Cool.
Down, just round and round, I'm falling apart, still bound to the ground. 최소 없는 도에서 내 동심이 소리치잖아. 원 없이 타만큼 탔으니 please take me out. 침대는 날권, my bed is my coffin. 어쩜 이 세상은 거대한 caffeine. 내 운을 속으로 바꾸면 볼 수 없는 멈출 수 없는 춤을 춰봤잖아. 생각하지 말자 생각을 했나. 빙글 또 빙글 행복하니 벌써 죽을까지.
All right, very interesting. This is BTS's Merry-Go-Round off their album Arirang. Very nice. Let's see. Gunky says this was the last one that they heard. Deng says this is a sad one. Cal says back in time for Merry-Go-Round. Kaylee says I see that fully. I get it too. Maybe it's just odd to me that they made the title track like that. I just think a Korean version of Swim would be dope. That I agree. That would be dope. I agree, Sonja. Sarah says the discordant notes are so interesting. I also agree. I think this is very. I think that I don't want to say that I'm gonna notice a trend. I'm very curious to obviously listen to this back half of the album, but I will say like the indie influence is, I would say, a little bit more apparent in the song. Swim is kind of again that like very like straightforward like kind of pop feel. This one kind of has like a little bit of, I don't know, it has like a little different flavoring, but still has like obviously like a pop feel to it. And I like that. I think that it's not like, I like that it's not like an EDM type song, and that's not to say that those are bad. Fio is one of my favorites from the beginning part of the album, but I appreciate that this one, I think more so than anything else, was like some of the stuff that I noticed in sort of the chorus of the song, and like them just talking about like what their life is being on a merry-go-round. And I don't know, I would imagine, if I've got my memory correct, I would say it probably has something to do with just because again they're BTS, and they're in the spotlight all the time. I imagine there is a level of, I don't know, I feel like there's a level of things that go on, I'm sure, in the spotlight with them, and being a part of that I'm sure that they probably don't want to be a part of. And I appreciate the fact that they are being vulnerable in that way. I think that's, I think it's a hard, I don't want to say that it's a hard thing to do, but I think it's a hard thing about being honest about it. And so I appreciate the fact that they wanted to write something again in that sort of aspect of it. But I liked it. I think it plays a lot into, I think the somber lyrics plays a lot into the somber way that the song feels, right? So like sometimes the intention of music is to put you in a certain mood or head, I wouldn't even say headspace, but I mean that's also true as well. But I think they were trying to evoke a certain feeling out of you, or feelings that they felt while making the song. And I do feel like they, from my perspective and a first listen, I definitely feel like they definitely were able to do that well. You know what I mean? I think they were able to kind of gather those sorts of feelings that I feel like people would associate them with, especially if they were in their shoes, right? And so I appreciate again the honesty, the level, that they wanted to write a song and be real about it, and I appreciate that. And I think kind of the dissonance of the song plays into how like the dissonance of the feelings that were written about the song show up. So I thought that was very cool. But yeah, I definitely like this one. It was very very emotionally interesting, so I appreciate that. Dang says the next song is also about that. Okay, very nice. I had a feeling. So, all right, we're gonna check out Normal next. So, let's give it a listen.
Kerosene, dopamine, chemical induced fantasy and fame, yeah, the things we choose. Show me hate, show me love, make me bulletproof. Yeah, we call this shit normal. Run away, out of sight, don't know what I want. Wish I had a minute just to turn me off. Kerosene, dopamine, what I gotta do? Yeah, we call this shit normal. Habits the head, and you chasing true. We'll color me red, we'll color me blue. Two sides of a coin and they both ain't true. It's different for me, it's different for you. Got me feeling things unusual, and I live in more. Got me at my feelings ever on this wall, and my knees is kerosene, dopamine, chemical induced fantasy and fame.
This has a big Ryan Tedder footprint on it, if that is the case.
Used to think that I was built to the hard metal still. Now I understand the truth, some pain don't heal. If everything's just happy, that ain't real. That ain't real. I've read everything I like 1,000 times. No more is passion, they are just some lies. One deep side that it slips away, fades away. What I try to keep, never want to stay. Run away, pushing me, pulling me. Said you wanted all of me, but what is even all of me? Suddenly, part of me is hurting me. Heard the things they calling me. What the hell you want from me? Got me feeling things unusual, and I live in more. Got me at my feelings ever on this wall, and my knees is kerosene, dopamine, chemical induced fantasy and fame, yet the things we choose. Show me hate, show me love, make me bulletproof. I've called this shit normal. Run away, out of sight, don't know what I want. Wish I had a minute just to turn me off. Kerosene, dopamine, what I gotta do? Yeah, we call this shit normal. No, we call this shit normal. No, we call this shit normal. Yeah, no, we call this shit normal.
All right, very nice. This was track 9, Normal, from BTS's Arirang. Very nice. Let's see, comment wise. Sonja says, I claim this song. Sarah says, how normal of you. God, love that. Dang says, it looks like you it looks like you really couldn't pay me to skip a song here. Fair enough. Cal says, gosh, the vocals. Dang says, I really love Jimin's verse. Yeah, Jimin's verse is cool. The descending note, yeah, the descending note was cool. That was wild, like that. Like, I'm not gonna try doing it because I'm not even remotely close at that. So, but Deng gave me some lyrics, and Deng says, I have no idea. I needed to hear Jin say shit. I was surprised. There's a lot there. I mean, they use shit a bunch, which I was kind of surprised. I have to assume this one was done by Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Tedder. Okay, I was correct. All right. I had a feeling. I was like, this feels very Ryan Tedder styled, you know. I like this. This one was fun. I gotta say, first of all, that like beginning part of the song with I think did Jungkook start? Yeah, Jungkook started the song. Man, that beginning like the chorus of the song is got a great hook. That kerosene, dopamine, chemically induced, like that like those that word salad essentially, not saying 100%, but like it does, for whatever reason, it's got a good ring. It's got a good like roll off the tongue feel to it. I think again that has a lot to do with not only BTS being for a phenomenal artist, but I'd also say it has a lot to do with their composition, and Ryan really knows how to work a composition of a song. So I definitely feel like in this song it feels more collaborative, which I like. I would say with this song, maybe comparatively to any other song that I've heard today, I felt like with Normal, the vocals on this song were very cool. I think there was like a little bit of like vocoder on their voices, which I thought was very interesting. I like it. I thought that was very, very nice. Like, definitely not complaining on that. But I will say, I think this that song felt the most vocally distinct. Like I knew I could pick out each member individually and be like, oh, that's like RM was doing some singing in that part of the song, and then like there's other parts where obviously I know Jimin's doing some sections. Like Jin, came in after Jimin. Like there's definitely parts of the. I felt like there is more. I don't know. I felt like with this song, I was like, there was more distinction in their voices, where I felt like maybe other songs thus far really haven't had as much distinction. Again, that's my first listen, so these are my first listens, so I'm gonna take, hopefully you take that with a grain of salt, um, but I do feel like distinction wise and how interesting and intricate their voices are as individuals and obviously as them together, I felt like this one was the one where I was like, oh, their voices matches up. Voices match up really well in this song. But then as well as that, I think the individuality of their voices really is what stood out to me more so than anything else in this track. Like the hooks on this were incredible. Like obviously love this song, but I think that to me, like when I can individually hear like J Hope or I could hear So Good doing some vocal parts, like that to me, I think means more to me as a listener than I think like, oh well, like getting into the nine track of this album, like I really want to be able to like distinguish those voices a little bit more. So I felt like Normal did a great job of that and putting it all together. So definitely like this one. 100%. So very cool. Very cool. We're on to 10, which is Like Animals. So let's check it out. I'm curious. Let's give it a listen. Ooh. Great harmony layering here. Nice. All right. All right. All right. BTS, I see you. I see you. All right. This was Like Animals. Very nice. Let's see what we got. A couple comments here. Dang says that they did perform this one too. Very nice. Uh I assume Sarah's referring to Suga in the first part of the song, which was cool. I like that. Um Let's see. Cal says, "Can I claim this one?" Soja says, "I love this one, especially after the live performance." Ooh, okay, okay, okay. Um, Yonggi, let's go. Um, I like this one a lot. Obviously, to no one's surprise, this one's probably my favorite one so far. I like the kind of alternative feel of this one. I thought it was super, super cool. Definitely, I can't recall if I don't think BTS has really delved into alternative, so this was a cool foray into that. So I like that. This one was just fun. I think this one feels the most different from all of the songs thus far. Like, I think it's so interesting to see like how far they can take these like a lot of these songs. I'm sure there's some later on here. We've got a couple more that will be maybe a little bit more expansive in that aspect, but I like the rock tone. I feel like I really liked the beginning from Suga. I thought that was really cool. His voice, I think, suits that kind of alternative feel so well. So it was cool to hear him kind of do that sort of stylization to his voice. Um, I also really love the chorus of the song. I feel like Jimin just crushes that chorus, and then like the interweaves of different members. Like I believe in the first part, if I've got this correct, I know it might be. I know I heard like V, um, maybe also Jin potentially. I don't know how correct I am on that, but um, it definitely sounded like someone else along with V, which was cool. But I love the kind of the definition of their voices. Like I said, the way that they kind of concoct their ranges, I think, is always very interesting to me. Like obviously, Jimin's voice kind of has this sort of brightness and like really kind of cuts through the song. But then I feel like a lot of other members that match up well with Jimin, which is I would say all of them, really kind of curb that sort of like bright overtone with I'm gonna just use for example like Jungkook. Like I feel like their combination, like he's kind of got that like smoothness and like a little bit of R&B esque vocal prowess. So I feel like their voices mix really well together. It's very, very interesting. And I thought that was very fun. I also just love I'm just a sucker for good harmonies, and I feel like they've always done that super well. And I thought that was great. But actually, I think for the most part, I like enjoyed the verses. Like Suga was great. I'm pretty sure RM was at the beginning of verse 2. He was incredible. I love his like kind of low tone. I think very similarly to like V and why I gravitate to his voice. I feel like RM and like in like maybe the context of him not doing like the rap line parts, like it's cool to hear his voice because I think he's got such a like warmness to his tone that I think suits like these types of songs really well. So I feel like he felt right at home with this type of track, which is great. But yeah, overall, I think this one's probably one of my favorites. I think I'd probably put Normal and like Animals together in terms of my favorites on this back half. But yeah, this one was so good. I think this suited them very well in the sense that I wouldn't have expected a song from this from them to do a song like this, but I think they did it extremely well. So I enjoyed this a lot. Sondra says Jin was doing the high notes, background vocals so good. Hey, shout outs to Jin. That man is cooking. I love it. Dang says the rap line did a lot of singing on this album. I did notice that, which was interesting. Interesting choice. But very nice, very nice. All right. Well, we're keeping it moving. The next one is They Don't Know About Us. So check it out. They don't know about us, how your voice can calm the sea. They don't.
I can show you love, I can show you. If you wanna know me, what can I do for you? 대체 뭐가 달랐냐고 자꾸 물어. 나는 대답해, 나도 몰라. Everybody hear the story that they wanna. 쟤는 네가 때문에 떴어 내가 맞아. We're just big boys, 아까처 놈. 그냥 먹기 싸지, just shut up. Hold up, tryna take a bubble bath, babe. Do the math and go, just say what you say. Oh, it's hard, then we cannot explain. Every time we're tryna explain, we find they don't know about us, they don't know about us. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. Yeah, damn, damn right, yeah, damn, damn right, yeah, damn, damn right, yeah, damn, damn right. I can show you love, I can show you. If you wanna know me, what can I do for you? 대체 뭐가 달랐냐고 자꾸 물어. 나는 대답해, 나도 몰라. 항상 쉬운 길만 찾기 바빠 괜시 오지랖들은 태평양쯤 baby. 알기 쉽게 설명해줄까 baby. 몰라 그때부터 굳이 아니 특별해 에이션 중에 영스러운 존재. Too hard to break, we can't relate. 그냥 사람 일곱인데 you said we changed. We feel the same shit. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. They don't know about us, they don't know about us. Yeah, that move, that right, that right, yeah, that move, that right, that right, yeah, that move, that right, yeah, that move, that right, that right. How your voice can calm the sea. Hey, let's go. This one is track 11. They Don't Know About Us. Very nice, very nice. Let's see what we got for comments here. Calla says, what an intro. Love Jimin's tone in, I would think, if I've got it correct, the chorus. Very cool. Very nice. Dig says he sounds kind of angry. Why is that so? And then also says, oh, I love Yoongi's mumble rap. And Kyle says, true, feel is different from him, but I'm here for it. Dag says, I really thought the first half of the album was my favorite, but these past 3 songs are so good. Ooh, okay. I feel like it's gonna cook for you for a little bit, but I like this one. This I feel like is kind of up my alley for music that I typically listen to, so I feel like this one is on brand for me. No pun intended. But I really liked it. The intro sample was really cool, and I love how they kind of like did like the DJ scratch skip. I thought that was cool. I don't know. I just love that shit. I wish I could DJ in that way. Maybe I'll have to learn, but I love that. I think that's so cool. There's like, and my girlfriend prefaced some of this album for me, but she was like, oh yeah, it's kind of got like a little, it's got that hip hop influence, got that R&B influence. And so I was like, at first I was like, what is she talking about? Right. Like, and not in a bad way. If my girlfriend's watching, I didn't mean it. She'll probably beat my ass, but anyway, as a joke. But I feel like to me, this one felt the most
this one felt the most R&B adjacent, or probably more, I guess, related in that aspect. But I thought this was very cool. I like the beat. I think, to me, like, the verse of this song is what really kind of roped me in for this track. I will say I think the chorus will have to grow on me a little bit. I do like it. I do like kind of Jimin's like lower vocal tone. I think it was a little bit of a shock for me. I thought maybe potentially it could have been someone else, but I did see a couple other people in chat say it was Jimin, so I was kind of like, huh, that's interesting. My first thought wouldn't have been him, so that's different vocal tone, which is crazy. I liked a lot of the rap moments in this too. I think they hit, again, verses. I think the verses is what really kind of stood out to me the most. And so I'll still stick with that. I just feel like maybe the chorus just wasn't. I don't know. There's just something about the chorus I felt like was just a little bit off. The only thing I can think of is like the ad libs and stuff felt a little bit low in the mix. I feel like they could have been punched up a little bit more. Like, I feel like that kind of like maybe back and forth kind of thing would have been a little bit better. But yeah, overall I felt like this one was really good. I think this one, I don't know, I feel like this one to me could have been like, this one could have been number one for me, but I feel like that chorus definitely, like the way that the vocals kind of like transpire in that section, I think could have been, I don't know. I feel like it could have been done a little bit differently. You know, I don't feel like it has that same sort of like, I feel like it doesn't have that same like hit that I feel like I would expect from that type of chorus. I don't know. There's just something missing for it for me. And it's not like it's a bad chorus by any means, but like, I don't know. It just wasn't scratching the itch that I thought it was going to scratch, you know? Like the verses, I was like, "Ooh, these verses, they're hitting, they're good, like they're catchy, they're vibey, like the rap sections are great, like everything's hitting about it." And then the chorus, I'm like, I like it, like I'm not a hater, I don't hate it, but I just feel like, to me, there could have I feel like they could have put a little extra sauce on it, you know. And I don't know, maybe it was a missed opportunity for me personally, but otherwise enjoyed the rest of the song. I thought it was good. So Dang says, oh, I already read Dang's comment. Uni says, hook wasn't hidden for me, but otherwise really liked it. Very nice. I feel like Uni and I were on the same boat on that one, certainly. So that's crazy. Very nice. All right. Well, we're almost through it, which is wild to me. So we're gonna be checking out the next one, which is One More Night. So let's give it a listen. Ooh. Okay.
Falling back to me, I feel you back to me. 두려운 건 벌써 슬픈 건 너무 닮아버린 그림자. 24 hours in the top, 24 hours of your thought. CCC don't wake me up, call me my king shit. It's a fantasy.
Yeah, this was it. I love that like stuttered synth sound. Cool. That bridge is crazy. Woo. All right, very cool. That was One More Night from BTS. This one was crazy. I love this. This has got to be this is 100% is number one for me. No doubt. Like, so good. I love the synth choice in that song. They crushed it. The synths in this song were so good. Also, like, the melody choice in this one was phenomenal. Shout out to RM composer, Bo Knox, very nice. P Dog, let's go, vocal arranger, composer, incredible. Like, the vocals on this were just smacking. I loved, like, the different, like, layers. Like, obviously, I think there is a lot of moments where they all, like, stack their vocals out super well. And I think that, again, has a lot to do with how well, like, P Dog put them together. So shouts to him, or her. But really, really great stuff. That chorus, I gotta I maybe a hot take a little bit, but I feel like this has to be. I would argue that maybe the last two might not be able to do this, but I gotta say I think this one's probably my favorite chorus of the entire album. So, like, no joke. Like, it's so catchy, super fun. I love, like, that kind of, like, almost. I don't even know how to describe, like, the synth tone, but it's just so gorgeous, and I love that kind of, like I love that they've got, like, a little bit more of those, like, soft edges. It's really, really, really well put together. Someone just says that J-Hope crushed a bridge, or J-Hope's bridge, very nice. J-Hope crushed it, in my opinion. But this has just got, like, club beats out the ass, and I love that. Just starts off so good. I'm shocked by this one. This one was awesome. I also love the first pre-chorus. I think was V, because I know his, like, upper register pretty well, because I used to binge listen to a lot of his solo work before I got into BTS. But man, his like higher register is chef's kiss, and I think he was in that first pre-chorus. So incredible. This one's, like I said, number one. This one's gonna be a really hard one to beat. To be honest, I was vibing heavy with this one. So this was awesome, very nice. Let's see a couple comments. Someone just says that they like this one. Dick says ZZ, don't wake me up. Hey, let's go. Andy says love that one. Hey, let's go. All right, cool shit. All right, we're gonna get into track 13, which is Please. So let's give it a listen.
세상은 말야 항상 우리 사이 맞지 결국엔 우린 돌고 돌아서 제자리 You want me just all day, all night Hold me from the front, back, left, right I need you like only on mine Oh, you got me, Baby, oh, please 세상이 우리 갈라놓을 때 Baby, oh, please 한 걸음 더 다가설게 반해잔이 넘치니 come and get a set Yeah 영원하면 영원히 서로 영원히 그대 안에 기다려 baby baby please You want me just all day all night Hold me from the front back left right I need you like only on mine Oh you got me Baby oh please 세상이 우리 갈라놓을 때 Baby oh please 한 걸음 더 다가설게
Ooh, that ending was cool. I like that. Very nice. Very nice. That was Please by BTS. Very nice. Andy says, ooh, this one. Someone just says, Please is such a chill vibe. Jazz says, I think this one is my fave so far. Ooh, okay. Uni says, it's a good time to have. I was going to say, songs for subwoofers are up after this album. If you are not listening to this album with a subwoofer, you're missing out. You're grossly missing out on some low end on these songs. So, this one was also a banger. I like this one a lot. That chorus just hits. Great hook. I think it's just like the beginning part when they're saying like, "Oh baby, please." Like, I don't know why, but that like as soon as that hook came in, I was like, "Damn, they got me." That kind of R&B flavor kind of just kicks in, and I'm like, "Ah, damn." I'm feeling it. I'm feeling good. I like the chill vibe of this. It definitely has like a light bit of like city pop, a little bit, obviously a larger bit of like R&B flavor to it, certainly. I liked it the way that they broke the song up as well. I appreciate the fact that they have Suga doing verse 1, if I've got it correct. They have RM doing the pre-choruses, which were also really good, and he was doing more of like a kind of singing, I would say more singing verse over rapping. And then I think J Hope was doing J Hope did the second verse, which was really cool too. Cool flavors. I like that. I thought that really worked out well. I again also loved the verses from Suga and J Hope, which was awesome. But man, that chorus gets me every time. Every time that chorus came in, I was just like, I don't even know the lyrics to this part, but I feel like I got to sing along to it. So I hands down also another phenomenal chorus. I think One More Night and Please I think are probably my top two right now. It's tough. Like I said, Fio is also great, and Hooligan, so those are up there. So it's very interesting. I feel like I'm a little torn, but at the same time, I'm like I feel like that's right on brand for me to choose those songs. So yeah, this one banger song. Love it. So hopefully they play this one. I don't know. I'm not going, unfortunately, seeing BTS, but if you are, please get a video of this. Thank you. The last one is Into the Sun, which is where we're riding at the end of this album. So we're gonna ride into the sun with this song. So let's give it a listen.
Baby, you remind me I want someone like you.
Did they vocoder out his voice?
I want someone like you. Nobody knows me, honey. No one like you. If you wanna go there, I'm ready to be with you. No, you're cold. I run dark days and find the sun. I don't care how far, just wait. Baby, what you want? Baby, what you need? Tell me how you feel every night. I'm thinking of 해줄 때의 바람 해들 때의 온도 네가 느껴야 할 저녁부터 아침의 별 이른 너의 걸 좀 이른 어둠에 묻어 동이 뜰 때까지 널 지키며 into the sun 24, 24 7 feel like 24 태양을 향해 뛰어도 가까워지진 않아도 oh no Don't be afraid 기억해 그저 잠시 보는 걸 어두운 밤을 지나 아침이 오는 걸 마침내 눈을 뜨 into the sun You're cold I run dark days and find the sun I don't care how far just wait 부서진 전쟁들의 나침반 우리들의 피난 소란들과 미련 앞숨 쉬며 반항하는 인간 난 집에 가고파 네가 있는 곳 불이 뜨고 별 지는 곳 불을 건네줘 이 기름 속넌 멋지고 달아남아 뜨지 않을 거야 오늘 And if we run out of time I'll chase the feeling Never too far behind Your cry I find Dark days And Friday I don't care how far Just wait
All right. That was Into the Sun from BTS from their album Arirang. Very nice. Let's see. Dang says V wrote this, the A. Cal says such a V song right off the bat. Sonja says this one made me emotional. Oh, I feel that. Cal says, oh, this one, I forgot. Oof. Jazz says it's a nice song, but I'm not a big fan of the vocal distortion, to be honest. Dang says this is such an experimental album. It reminds me a lot of RM's album. Yeah, I could see that. I can see the cross of that. I also might be on the similar page with Jazz. I think I think to me the verses stood out in this song. The verses were incredible in this track. I really loved the J-Hope Suga on the second verse. I thought that was great. Oh wait, the first verse was like no. Maybe not. Verse 2 is great. I think that was probably one of my favorite sections for both J-Hope and Suga. I feel like they both sounded incredible in that section. I would go back and listen to that again. I also really loved, I think, verse 3. I know at the beginning it was RM, and I think Jin was closing it out. And I also love the outro. I thought the outro was really tied it all together. I think the only thing that I would agree with Jazz. I think that the vocal, I don't even know if it's necessarily, it could be vocal distortion, but it also kind of reminds me a lot of like pitch shifting. Like their voices sound like pitched higher. And that also can cause distortion in the voice as well. So I agree with Jazz. I wasn't really too big of a fan of it either. I do feel again, I will say that it definitely feels very V coded, which is great. But I feel like I feel like they could have done without it, honestly. And I think it would have sounded better to me. So that's the only thing that I would say about the song. It would have been probably my favorites otherwise, but I just feel like that really, like, I don't know. It's very aggressive, and I don't know if that's necessarily caters to that type of song. Again, maybe it might just be like artistic integrity. I respect that, but I do feel like it is a little bit grating comparatively to how the rest of the song kind of puts itself together. I felt like the rest of the song was just really good. So, I just wasn't a fan of that. Overall, I felt like the song was incredible otherwise. So that kind of makes me a little sad, but hey, it is what it is. You're not going to win them all. And so I get it, but personal favorites for mine. Again, One More Night probably is my number one. Please, I'd probably say is 2. Faya is probably number 4. Hooligan is second. I would probably say Like Animals would be my next choice, and then I probably round it out with I really like Swim and Normal. I feel like would be like a tie for honorable mention. I feel like those were both really good songs. Swim, I feel like I know I could that hook could get stuck in my head, so I feel like I had to give it the honorable mention certainly. So Callus says I enjoyed the voice effect, but I could see how people wouldn't love it. And same with Dang. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Hey, everybody's got their own personal preference. I respect it. So, um, yeah, Army, don't come after me too badly. Appreciate you. But yeah, this was a cool first listen. I'm glad. I'm glad I opted to listen to this in full. I feel like if I had to listen to Swim again and not listen to the album, I feel like I would be it'd be a rough go for me certainly. But overall, I enjoyed it. I feel like this one was really cool. Like I said, I can understand some of the like I appreciate that they kind of again threaded that needle of like still, obviously being influenced and being in the K-pop industry and still, having songs that kind of reflect that. But I also feel like this album arguably has that sort of reflection on like more of a Western appeal too. I don't think that I don't really feel like it really hit any of the niches that I feel like that K-pop typically hits, and I also feel like there's certain things that I feel like even like Western artists might not even tap into. So I like the fact that it kind of has a good bit of variety to it, and like not all one song feels the same. Like obviously there's some connection to each one of the songs, but overall I didn't think it was a bad listen. So I enjoyed it. It's hard for me to rank BTS albums because obviously I haven't listened to all of them in full, but I would say it's very good. I would comfortably put this like maybe higher to middle of the pack in terms of BTS albums. I mean, my personal favorites from BTS, I would probably say are Tier. And I really love Map of the Soul. We did, like I said, I know we went over it and that was great, but I'd still feel like these two albums, to me personally, were ones that I listened to in full, and I liked both of them a lot. So I would say that for me. But overall, if I would probably put Arirang pretty close to there, which is crazy. And that honestly, those are really the ones that I've heavily listened to compare in their discography. So let's see. Gunky says, so yeah, the whole album wasn't for me, but I appreciate the messaging and why they're trying to do it. Hey, respect. Sarah says, I really like this album, the songs on it, but this album being a big comeback album, they were stressing to promote their identity as Korean artists was disappointing. This album and the promotion around it feels so corporate, which is especially disappointing for who BTS have always seemed to be very personable and relatable, especially in their lyrics and creative direction. This album feels like an artist who wants to make the most money possible for the most people from a big label rather than anything personal about them or Army or basically anything not mentioned that influenced a lot of questionable people on the production and creation of the album. That's fair. That's a fair take. I respect it. I think if anything, I appreciate what I appreciate about our group, our bunch, is that we're transparent, and I think everyone's here to give their honest opinion, and I think that's important. So I appreciate your answer, Sarah. I agree. It's to some degree, certainly. So I'm not gonna disregard that. Dang says, make the most money possible with an experimental album is such a strange take. Interesting. Okay. Someone just says, I think this is the type of album that you listen to many times, and because it's so varied and different, songs are your faves at different times. I could also see that as well. Like I said, like I said before, and I'll be transparent, I've listened to a variety of music over the years. Um, you know, and I think jumping into K-pop, like obviously anything can be I don't know. Anything can be divisive, certainly. I think I think given what they have, and like I said, I'm not in the driver's seat for BTS, so I can't really speak for them, certainly, and I would never. But, I think it is tough to thread that needle of like trying to pander to everybody. And I see both sides of the fence. Like, if you love this album, great, like, enjoy it. If you feel like it could have been promoted or put together differently, or then, also I agree with that as well. I don't think that one is exclusive without the other, right? I think that everybody has their own opinion and everyone has their own appreciation for how it could be. Like I said, I think if you're Army, you're obviously going to take this album more to heart, and it's going to be more of something that you wear on your sleeve, and that's certainly appropriate considering this, I'd imagine, is going to be is your favorite group. But I think there's a lot of like I said, I think there's a lot of pressure behind groups to kind of fit in, and I think not to correlate this with uh personally me, but like I could see it, right? As like someone who looks the way that I look and comments on K-pop music with not being rooted in Korea other than my complexion. I think it is very interesting, and I think like I can find a lot of commonality between BTS and myself, even though BTS grew up in Korea, obviously Koreans, and like doing the damn thing, which is incredible. But I think it is hard to find that line of like pandering to people that are global, and then also pandering to people that are in Korea that are fans in Korea. You know what I mean? Like, it's I think that there could be more service for people that obviously are in Korea and want to hear Korean songs because they are part of the Korean, K-pop industry. But I also feel at the same point, like they're also a global group that, again, needs to put out an album and needs to be there. So like I said, we probably could talk about this and have a whole discussion for like the next hour about it, but it is interesting, certainly. So I'm not saying that one way should be different or over the other. Everyone here should have their own opinion, right? And that's really what matters, I think. If you agree with anybody's takes on here, great. If you don't agree with anybody's takes on here, also great. You should have a variety of opinions when listening to music, right? You know what I mean? And you should come to your own conclusion on how you feel about it or whatever. I think that's the most important thing, because at that point, you're looking at both sides of the fence, right? So if there is some discourse in here about it, then that is what it is. But that's kind of how I view it, at least, is that, everyone's going to have their opinions. Everyone's going to listen to it in a different way. And they're going to take it, take their values from it, how they want to take the values from it. So let's see. Sarah says, I do like the album. I've been listening to it a ton. I just kind of wish they made something personal. I think the album is going to be difficult no matter what they did, since everybody wants to tear them down for literally anything. Cal says, I feel the same way when it comes to the feeling of disappointment after 4 years. I think it's mostly the title tracks for me. Dang says, and of course, that's fair. I just think the album was so personal and unique to their own experience between East and West. Like, I can't imagine how it could be more personal. I always agree with that. I feel like I was expecting something and didn't get it at all. I was disappointed, but I made sure to wait and re-listen to the album and songs, so it didn't influence how I took them. Sun just says, I think this album goes beyond K-pop, which part of the reason why people in the K-pop community have strong opinions on it. That's fair. Good take, I would say. Jazz says, I think overall it's not really my taste, though there were some songs I enjoyed. Also fair take. Andy says, I think BTS had a comeback as much as as artistic liberty since before Dynamite. They definitely focused on dominating the music market, which is fair, but they definitely sacrificed their musical identity to some degree. Fair enough. Dang says, I really find it problematic when people who are not Korean complain about an album or a song not in Korean. It's not Korean enough. It's often a criticism in K-pop, but not to find it God, I can't even read tonight. Exotic enough, I would assume, is what you're getting at, Dang. Blah blah blah. Sarah says, I think personal awful feelings about Hybe, but really just also really influenced my opinion since Hybe has Hybe written all over it. Gucky says, the only thing that was so corporate was actually comps that they did. Like BTS members wanted to do a free concert for fans. I've looked at it looked at it as sweet. Maybe we can make a killing selling merch, selling streaming rights to Netflix and get a bunch of promotions. Also, the government taking a part in what happened, which helps the corporations, but at the same time, it was great for fans to have the concert. Andy says, by the way, I don't mean music identity as being Korean, K-pop, etc. I just feel like it's been missing something lately. I think, like I said, however you view it, I'll go full screen. However you want to view it, however you want to take it. I think to me, it's what you take out of it, right? Like, however your viewpoint is on Hype, or however your viewpoint is on BTS, or however your viewpoint is in just general about music. I don't think that, I think people will choose to get hung up about certain things, and that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, you're valid in that. I think that the reality of it is that, to me, as an outsider of the army, I think to me it's something that I think I try to realize about this album is that, like, they they were brought up in that K-pop industry. They obviously were built and molded in that aspect. And while I will not say that I am, like, I am not an army, I'm not like, I don't listen to them as on the frequency that I feel like some people here in chat do listen to them, and that's great. I think to me it's I appreciate what they have done artistically. I feel like they have obviously made a massive impact on it, and I'm glad that they are back and that people are going to see them and checking them out for the first time. And if this allows them the opportunity, or the gateway into getting into K-pop, or delving deeper into their discography, then I think that is more important, right? Like, I'm not trying to even bring something else into the equation, but like K-pop Demon Hunters, right? Like, to me, like, that seems like hopefully an avenue for people to check out K-pop, right? Like, I had someone, shouts to Alex again, that got me into K-pop. I wouldn't be here making this type of content if someone didn't show me this and, picked out something that I enjoy, right? So I think no matter how you squeeze it, however you look at it, there's always going to be something that might not be great, but hopefully it is an avenue for someone to get into that music. Somebody might find Arirang and say, hey, this maybe might be my foray into older BTS albums, and then, maybe they'll get into K-pop. That's kind of my impression, I would like to think. But, I understand that people are going to view it if they, again, and this is not dogging on anybody in chat. This is just a general thing. Like, I think it's important to have your opinion on it, certainly, and do your thing. And I love that. And it's great. And I think that there's merit to both everybody's corner of the appreciation. And I like that, again, you're not going to agree with everything that anybody says. That's just facts. But I think to me, it's important to discuss it, because I think at the end of the day, like, we all love music, and I think we say things because we love music, right? And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that everyone has their own opinion on it. I think it's great. I hope no one's feelings are hurt. If they are, I would like to be apologetic. But, I think to me it's very interesting to see them grow, and hopefully, again, it inspires people to go check out and delve deeper into K-pop as a genre and get more familiarized with it. So I think that that's good. So Gunky says, I think this is definitely going to be controversial to some people. They're not going to make everyone happy, of course. There's going to be haters no matter what they do. The important thing is they're offering music and entertainment for the fans. Agreed. Dang says, this was a very experimental album. Took a lot of risks. They knew a lot. They knew a lot of fans, more recent fans, wouldn't like it, but it feels evolved, more mature version of Dark and Wild. It clearly shows their origins and Korean identity, but also their moves beyond K-pop and how their taste in hip hop has grown beyond that too. Fair enough. Sonja's take I thought was really good. They said that I appreciate that we can all have a good discussion, agreeing that we won't all agree at every point. Music is so personal. I like what Brandon says about respecting their legacy and reach. I too love the fact that they are back making music in our group again. I agree. I agree. Like I said, this this is always going to be a forum for people to talk about it. You know, I'm never going to try to silence people on their opinions on everything. So feel free to drop your opinions in the comments. Again, be cordial. I love all of you. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't care. I obviously saw that there was some, there was some banter. So I feel like I had to kind of see what was going on, but I appreciate everybody's opinions on it. I think it's important. So, um, let's see. So, Callus says, very well crafted album. I adore a lot of the songs. Very excited to see what they're gonna be releasing because I really do miss the title tracks like Blood, Sweat, and Tears, etc. Sarah says, I think I'm also gonna wait to form any final opinion until I see the doc about how I'm making the album because I want to know how they feel about it too. Because we all know not all artists love everything they put out in general. That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair take. So leave your take in the comments. This will probably go out this will go out sooner because I gotta get it out because it's BTS. But and he says I'm still happy with that they are back, even though I don't listen to them as I used to back some years. Hey, that's fair. Respectable take. So